What's happening, guys? Give my numbers for tonight. How many lifts I gotta do here? Hold on. So tonight is what I like to call pure endurance lift night. So what I do is I'll take. Let's see if this will work if I set this down there. There we go. Put her in the corner. So as you can see, I'm gonna start with bench press. 50 pounds on there. Nothing. Nothing to it. But tonight, so last time I did my pure endurance workout, I did 49 lifts with 50 pounds on. I'm going to up that by 25%, do 59 lifts. But I guess before I get started on that, so today I was listening to a podcast and they was talking about investing and how people should invest in their retirement accounts or their IRAs, whatever, however you're investing your money. And it's kind of like, so they did a pretty good job, of laying it out how you should do it. But let's be real, like you can't. What somebody writes in a book or in a, newspaper or something, can you get information from that? Can it help you? Yeah, it can help. But, not one size fits all. So, just keep that in mind. Like, when you're thinking about your investment portfolio, it's different if you're 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 20. Or if you're 30 and you're worth $10 million versus if you're 30 and you have $30,000 in your IRA account, or you got $5,000 in your IRA account, something like that. Somebody with $10 million, they don't really need a lot of stock exposure. Now, if I was them, I would be thinking, so I've got $30,000, or I've got, $10 million. I'm worth $10 million. Let's see. So, if I'm worth $10 million, I could pretty much put money in, to whatever I want. Like, I'll take some extra risk. I'll buy some small company, or, buy a bunch of stock in some little company that may get taken over in a couple years. Try and turn that $10 million into $20 million, or, whatever. But, versus if you got $30,000 or $5,000 at 30 years old, you got to be buying some stocks that's going to go up. You can't afford to buy bonds because you're never going to beat inflation. Well, you'll beat inflation, but just barely. Or if you got $10 million, so that's the other thing. So $10 million, yeah, I'd probably buy some stocks, be aggressive, try to really turn it into a lot, and then you can give a ton of money away. Or you could put $10 million into bonds, making 5%. 5% of $10 million, that's $500,000 a year. That's a pretty solid income, right? I mean, I pretty much take that. But, and you don't have to do anything other than you're going to pay taxes on it, right? So, I don't know. Just when people try to lump investing all into one big pot, like, oh, well, you should do this, and they put that out as blanket advice for everybody, it just doesn't make sense. Like, not everybody's the same. So then the other thing, so I was reading, and my father-in-law gets a paper it's a report. It's like a white paper, but it's like 12, 15 pages long, something like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started while I'm talking about this. Let's see if I can do two things at once. But so this white paper is talking about how you need the average person shouldn't have a financial advisor. And I think about that and I think, well, I'm 34 years old in 2 weeks. Yeah, I can't do this. I can't count. I think that was 20. I'll have to finish them up in a little bit. I can't do two things at once, apparently. But, no, so the average 30-year-old, right, may not need a financial advisor. I'm 34. But I study the stock market, and I study what's going on in finance and what's going on in business. So I don't need a financial advisor because I'm going to be my own financial advisor. As a matter of fact, I'll be hopefully taking my Series 65 to start working on the side as a registered investment advisor in probably about a month, probably about middle of May when I finally sit for the exam. But I don't need a financial advisor. But I know plenty of people, and it doesn't matter, smart people that other people don't think are smart, but everybody's smart in some way, but pretty much. They either have the common sense or they have the book smarts, and you got to be able to marry the two of them together, right? So I know people that are common sense smart, they should use a financial advisor because they don't want to mess with studying what's going on in the market. And I know people that are book smart that are probably spending 70, 80 hours a week at work, and they don't have time to study the markets, even though they probably could and figure out how to make good investments. But I don't know. When I seen that, I think about not having a financial advisor. I'm like, man, that doesn't make sense because even I'm going to go into that business, and I still have other professionals around me that I bounce ideas off of, because everybody needs, some advice, whether they, decide to go with the other person's advice or they stick with their own advice. You got to have somebody else to bounce ideas off of, or you're just going to get stale and then you're going to fall behind. So, all right, well, that's it, guys. I'm going to try to get back to this. I'm pretty sure I did like 20 right there. But we'll finish this up. 59 reps at 50 pounds. Then I got to step over to the curls, 30 pounds. And then I do my pull downs and push downs after that. And it's real lightweight. So, all right, guys. Have a good one. And I will see you sometime in the next week. Take care.